Yo, welcome back to Keita Auto. I want to send a big shout out to Ulysses at Complex Designs. We decided to do like this new platform or this new program where we do like some live streaming. He's pretty good at it, and I've never actually tried it. So here's my first try at it. So bear with me if it doesn't seem like if it doesn't run as fluid as it should be. But
Dude, it's totally fine, bro. What's going on, man?
I thought you was
I told you
making
I'm mute, man. I'm just trying to finish up cooking, man. But
oh,
we're all
okay.
good.
I could,
Yeah.
yeah, I could appreciate that,
For
bro.
those of you guys who don't know, man, I've actually collabed with Keita Auto on my channel. So we're doing a collab on this side of town over here. So yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, man. But I appreciate this. It's I actually like this platform. You're like the second person who's told me about the StreamYard. I just never put it into play.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, for doing this type of streaming and stuff like that, StreamYard is gonna work. It works pretty good.
Yeah. Nah, but I'm digging it, man. But yeah. But I guess I mean the big topic of today, really this weekend, has just been Formula One right now. This last week or this last weekend, today they finished the Hungary. How do you pronounce that? Is the Hung? It's not the Hung. Is it the Hungarian Grand Prix?
Hungary
Hungary.
Grand Prix.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah, so it'd be Hungarian Grand Prix, right?
yeah, at the Hungaroring.
Yeah, yeah. So that's actually a pretty cool track. I like racing that track on iRacing. Matter of fact.
Yeah, no, and it's also a good track in ACC as well.
Yeah, you see, I've never driven in an ACC, but I'm pretty sure it'd be a lot of fun in ACC.
Yeah, it's one of the tracks I like to do a lot of practicing on.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. It's kind of like Zandvoort. It takes a little time to get used to it, but once you like nail it and you just get it right, it's very satisfying. You know?
Well, I say a Hungaroring, man. It has like its tight, twisty section, and then it has long sections too. That's why I kind of like it. It gives you a mix.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it gives you a mix.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing about like tracks like that. Like you'll be good at certain parts, but then you'll be bad at certain parts. Like for me, for instance, like tracks like Road Atlanta, I feel like I'm really good. But then tracks like Red Bull, I'm okay. And I think it just deals with just how complex the track is versus the other track. You know?
Now, I think Red Bull circuit might be in a settle course. It's not an ACC.
No, I
I don't
haven't seen
think
that
it's yeah, it's not an ACC. I think it's in a settle Corsa, perhaps, but that's
one.
that's primarily an iRacing platform track, right?
Yeah, that and Gran Turismo. Yeah, that and Gran Turismo. But I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty. I like Red Bull. It's just if you don't hit it right, then you're kind of like stuck in like a duck in water. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
just refresh me. Red Bull circuit is that Germany?
That's in Austria.
Austria.
Yeah,
That is. That was a European circuit.
true. That's why they call it a home circuit. You know when
Hmm.
Max Verstappen and them get there.
Right.
Yeah, but like for real though, with getting back to the F1 though, man, like so I don't know if anybody is aware if if everybody here is watched, but um Max Verstappen got P1. He came from P10 to P1. He actually spent out towards the end of the race or the mid section of the race and still got P1.
How do you spin out and
He
get
did a
P1?
full 360 too.
How do you do that? And you
I
get
don't know.
P1.
He did it. He's F1's golden child. So he
Well,
did it.
let's talk about F1's redheaded stepchild. What's going on with Ferrari?
Well, I mean, look at it this way. I've said this before. Um, let's give a shout out to Wolfpack Racing. I even made it in a comment, and I said it on one of my other videos I uploaded to my channel. But this isn't a driver. This isn't the driver's fault. This is a management's fault. So in a company, whenever you have a poor management hierarchy or a poor management execution, you can't expect your workers or your drivers to have good execution on their end because they're going to do either one or two things. They're going to try to overcompensate, which is going to cause them to make errors, or they're going to shy away from the competition and not really perform. In
Let me.
this case, my opinion, I feel like
Mhm.
Carlos Sainz is the person that's not really performing. I think Charles Leclerc is overperforming.
Honestly, man, I think there hasn't been people that have been involved in, a winning program with Ferrari since the days of Schumacher and Vettel,
Right.
right? So it's kind of hard, dude.
No, I understand. I mean, the only thing good about that team right now is the fact that what's his name, Benotti. What's his name?
Was it the engineer or?
The guy that's over the team, who's like Christian Horner. What's his name? Benotti.
Oh, that guy. I'm trying. The guy who wears the glasses. I can't remember that guy's. Yeah, it's something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, his haircut for a white guy is pretty cool. I like his hair.
Dude, I was so not expecting a comment like that.
Yo, I like his hair. It's cool with the glasses. That's the only thing good with that team. That he be rocking that clean fade, and he got those nice glasses. Outside of that, the team blowing it. They got the fastest car on the track, and they can't put it. They can't execute. It sucks.
Like that. That's what I mean, man. We were talking earlier, and I was like, I'm not really sure what's going on Ferrari because clearly they have the best cars on the circuit, right?
Yeah.
Their guys are always up front for the most part, but for some strange reason, due to strategy, team error, driver error,
yeah,
there's a few instances where they just kind of just lunched it.
Yes.
When they had it in the bag, and it just kind of you kind of think like, okay, has it been like literally since Vettel left?
Yes.
They haven't won. So is it have they been winless for so long they don't remember how to do it?
I think it's a little bit of that. I think it's new to them, and they're just, for instance, Red Bull. They won a lot with Vettel, but for years they had a really good car prior to Mercedes taking over. They were always the ones that were battling them and pushing Mercedes to the T to make them perform. But I feel like for the past couple of years, Red Bull has always been there. Red Bull has always had the opportunities to actually beat Mercedes. It's just their management, the team as a whole, the drivers included, they were dropping the ball. And then I think now, because of all the conspiracy and all the paid off people, now I think that they're actually looking like they're connecting on all fours when we know that might not be the truth. But I don't know.
I literally think that like there was a brain drain at Ferrari largely.
Mm-hmm.
I really do believe this. I think there's a brain drain. I think a lot of engineers left. A lot of them went to MotoGP. There's some ex F1 guys and stuff like that that are part of the Aprilia MotoGP program, right? These are ex Formula One guys and stuff, right? And these are ex Ferrari F1 guys. Okay. So there was a bit of a brain drain at Ferrari, I think, largely. And it seems as though, we were talking before, you've got two young guns, man. You've got Sainz, you've got Leclerc. What's going on here? You guys clearly have the superior car. Like, why can't you guys get it done?
Yeah. I mean, and even with Leclerc, I think, what up, Rael? Appreciate you joining me, man. I think when it comes to like Leclerc, I don't even really look at him as a young gun. Like, I know he's young, but I feel like he's proven himself in Formula One to be a formidable opponent to anybody. That's just me, because I've always been a Leclerc, or how do you pronounce his name? Leclerc
Same here.
Supporter.
Yeah, Charles Leclerc. Yeah,
I've always been a Leclerc supporter. To be honest with you, if I was going to have anybody beat Lewis Hamilton, it would be him, not Max Verstappen.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you, a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
He's out in Germany. He drives the Nordschleife literally on a regular basis. He and I were talking, and we had literally Christian Leclerc a couple of years ago as the next great.
He will be.
And we thought Ferrari was going to treat him right, man.
Yeah.
That was the thing. We thought, and I'm saying, dude, like last year. I mean, let me tell you, dude, he just showed flashes, and it seemed as though, they were really going to try to do something here. But like I said, man, Sainz has major motorsport racing pedigree, right? Leclerc came up through karting, the Formula ranks, and all that, so he cut his teeth in it. But Carlos has a dad, who was a world-renowned rally driver, so he's got plugs, man. And I think there's an internal battle going on.
No, I agree. It's just kind of like, Leclerc didn't have anybody, racing before him. He doesn't have that pedigree, but Sainz does have that pedigree. So it's kind of Sainz is kind of running off of. You hate to call it entitlement because I feel like that might be a little too harsh to even give that to him because I don't want to take anything away from him as a man. But it seems like when you come up in it, you kind of have. Dang, I feel bad even saying this, but kind of like sometimes you have less drive to perform in certain areas of that, you know? Like Leclerc, I feel like he's the top gun on that team, and he's been the top gun on that team, and he's having a fight and to prove that. While Carlos Sainz has a pedigree behind him, and they're looking at him as the number 2 driver, but Carlos Sainz in his mind probably doesn't feel like he is the number 2 driver because he wasn't raised to be a number 2 driver.
Well, you know, and that's the funny thing, man, because I think what was the previous race prior to Hungary? It was the French Grand Prix, right? Paul Ricard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, it's funny you mentioned that because there was this whole sort of like, or maybe I think it was actually the race before the French Grand Prix where there was actually reports of an internal blow up.
Yeah,
at Ferrari, right? Between the two teams. It's Leclerc's engineering team and Sainz's engineering team, right? So both of them, you know, there's internal competition in motorsport, right? With the teams and stuff. You know, each set of engineers wants to think that they've sorted out the car better than the other team.
Yeah.
Why? Because that data all feeds back to the manufacturers at the end of the day. And then guess what? Your name becomes renowned with these types of innovations and blah, 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 Skippy, right?
Yeah.
So there was some shit, dude, where there was a feeling or a thought that like Leclerc was okay. The team of engineers that are assigned to Leclerc, were getting bogus ass directions from management. Meanwhile, Sainz was right. That's where this whole sort of, you know, these strategy derps were kind of happen over these last few races where they're like, everybody's looking at Ferrari like, why would you just literally nuke the race for Leclerc, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's Sainz who picks up the points. Then there's been the times where Leclerc may have made a mistake on his own. I think actually at the French Grand Prix he did.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think he's done that one other time where he's literally kind of launched it himself.
Yeah.
I kind of expect that. But from a team strategy standpoint, especially from a squad like Ferrari, I do not expect them to be launching it the way they are.
Yeah. I mean, it could be old, what's his name?
Who?
Was it Enzo Ferrari? The guy who made Ferrari, Enzo Ferrari.
Oh, Enzo?
Yeah, it could be Enzo coming from the grave saying not doing it my way. You know
what? Part of me, you know what, honestly, dude. Well, this is a sidebar. The way Europe is like blowing up right now. I'm thinking Ferrari might feel some kind of way about a French driver being like their guy.
Wasn't there a particular time where they only wanted Italian drivers?
Yeah. Well, okay. From what I understand, anyway, can you name another French Ferrari driver?
No.
I can't.
I can't either.
Right. So I don't know. I think there's just we're just some statesmen, right? We're some stateside guys. Like, what the hell do we know, right? We're just over here looking in, but I don't know, man. I've always kind of maybe felt that that's a thing, man. Maybe it has something to do with Leclerc's nationality. Mm-hmm. You know, you've had great, let's just say, South American / Spanish drivers, like Barrichello, for example, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Sainz is somebody who is, I guess you could say, relatory. I can't name a French driver. Mm-hmm. Well, off the top of my head, anyway, who's driven for Ferrari.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm even Leclerc, who besides Leclerc, who's the last French driver of true prominence that showed like?
Alain Prost was French, right?
Well, yeah. Okay, Prost, but I would say post Prost, It was like Olivier Panis.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Olivier he drove for Sauber, I think it was. I don't remember who he drove for. No, it was a Peugeot.
Yeah.
I have to remember the team that he drove for. Olivier Panis, who has a son that actually I think he's been driving in TCR,
Mhm.
touring cars, European tour cars. Yeah, maybe he was the last French driver in Formula One to note. I'd have to really kind of think about it, but I'm just saying, dude, Leclerc is literally the first prominent French driver in Formula One, dude. Like literally to be up front
Yeah. To be
that
up.
we've
Yeah.
seen. Yeah, that we've seen in quite a while. Maybe that has something to do with it, dude. I'm just throwing this shit out there.
I mean, it could be. I mean, for instance, Formula One. I always look at Formula One as a country club, and I think American blacks know what I mean when I talk about country club.
Yeah, the club, good old
It's
boys club.
it's a
Yeah.
club, right? And they're even like that on a like consolidated level when it comes to the teams. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
Aston Martin, for instance, they really want a British driver to win this stuff. You know, if Lance
They should
Stroll,
have signed George Russell.
they should they should have, and they would have been pushing them. It's just something about a team that is based in France, or a French team, like
Hmm.
historically having a French driver that they take pride in, or an Italian team having a, like, for real. Like, I was going back to that. There was a time, I think it was like maybe in the 70s,
Hmm.
excuse me, or the 60s, where Italy didn't want. I mean, I know Nicky Lotta was there like in the 70s, but there was a time
Yeah,
where I feel like that they only wanted Italian drivers. And it came
they,
specifically from
dude,
Enzo.
they did unless you were a Lauda, Schumacher,
Yeah,
who was it, Hakkinen?
yeah. But
Who
he never.
drove?
I don't
No, no. Who was it? No, was it, who drove for? Was it Hakkinen? Wait, who drove for Ferrari?
know.
Was
He
it
was. Mhm. It was
not Mika Hakkinen? Was it Mika Salo? Who drove for Ferrari? The Finnish driver,
the Finnish driver. Finnish driver. Oh, you talking about Raikkonen?
Raikkonen, Kimi.
Yeah, Kimi Raikkonen.
Okay, you're Kimi Raikkonen or Sebastian Vettel. Okay,
Yeah. Yes.
you're those type of guys. They're gonna sign you.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yep.
I mean, you have to bring some type of. But see, even with that, if you bring some type of superiority or some type of like grand stature to their team, you still
Hmm.
got to fall in line with them. I just feel like Ferrari has these black. They're like the Yankees of baseball. Like the Yankees, for instance, like you can't have facial hair if you play on that team.
Yeah, if you
Or
play
you
on
can
the
have a
team,
mustache, but you can't have like
no, you can't have a beard.
a beard or anything, which I think is
Yep.
the stupidest rule ever. Because it's like you should still pay me just because I have a beard, right? But I feel like Ferrari is the same way. Like the way even in the old what was it, Drive to Survive, the way they were trying to control Sebastian Vettel and what he was saying when he was leaving Ferrari, it
Yep.
was very I don't know, it's just very micromanaged. You know, it's like they want
What?
their drivers to present some type of fake Italian like oligarch type. It's just weird. It's very.
Did you see that picture? Did you see that picture after the French Grand Prix? Or I'm trying to remember what it was, where the Italian boss was kind of like pointing his finger at Leclerc.
Or like saying you better do better. Or whatever.
It was a weird kind of, yeah. Everybody took they took that picture,
Yeah,
and it kind of told the tale of what's going on with that team.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, man.
Oh man, I'll let me find it. I'll text it to you, dude.
I wouldn't be surprised because, like I was saying, man, I think Formula One, they have their own like consolidated like country clubs within the teams. Like for instance, like with Red Bull, I've said this for like years. Helmut Marko is like the Sith Lord. Of the team. No, I'm serious. Like if you put a robe on him, like a black robe over him, and Photoshop his eyes to be red, I would go around that guy. No, but on the real though, but like Ferrari, they're blowing it on their end. You know, they have a great car. I think they have, a good 1-2 punch. But yet just not able to perform. But one of the key points that we have to remember is that not only is this proving that it's not just the car, but it's also the team. So with that being said, for everybody that hates Lewis Hamilton and says that, hey, it's only the car, that's why he's winning. I mean, Ferrari has the fastest car on the grid right now, but they can't put it together.
Man, listen, dude. Like I said, Ferrari's had the car first part of the season, but they didn't have was the strategy. They didn't have the team structure together.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, and I think Red Bull has had a chance to catch up. I think Lewis is starting to sort the car out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I think it's taken him a bit longer to sort this car out because they had the floor issues, there was the porpoising, there was all these other things, right?
Yeah.
So he's kind of had to not only learn a new car, but then also deal with some of the design miscues.
Yeah.
Right. That was leading to the porpoising. And, you and I had talked before, I think with George Russell, he's had a little more intel on the car. And that's why you kind of see him consistently performing better, even though he placed, third today?
Who, George Russell?
Yeah. I think Russell was third and Hamilton was second, right?
Yeah, Hamilton was P2.
Right. So I think Hamilton is now starting to sort it out more.
Yeah, they are. They're coming to grips with their car a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more. I mean, you can only hope that it stays like this and going into next year, because I feel like it took them a while to just start off something new. Because that car was new in the beginning of the year. And,
well, it was delayed a year because of the pandemic, right? And I think that kind of threw a monkey wrench in a lot of stuff. The whole pandemic thing. But I think here's the thing, right? I'm not expecting Lewis to win a championship this year, but you know what I do want? At bare minimum, I want him to maintain his win streak per year going.
So at least get one win.
At least get one win a year in your career. Yeah. I'm saying he scraped second place today. I want him to at least. That's the one thing I want him to get, bro. I don't want him to literally go this year literally without a win. That would just suck.
No, I agree. I'm right there with you, man. So I see you coming over to that side, man.
What side?
Remember, as far as him getting a win this year?
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right, bro. I was like, no, it's not gonna happen.
He's gonna get one. The most will be, I don't want to limit our guy, but he's gonna get at least one.
Yeah, I really want him to get one. I want him to get a win this year. If he gets more than one, bro, dope. I want him to get a win though. He scraped it today, damn near. So
yeah, and
shout out to Lewis Hamilton.
Let's just put it this way: if Max Verstappen wouldn't have recovered from the 360, he would have actually got that win today.
You know what, dude? I'm gonna leave that one.
A bunch of what ifs,
I'm gonna leave it alone.
Oh, nah, I just. But yeah, man. But in general, like, what was I about to say? What was the next thing I wanted to talk about? Just in general, so what are the styles of racing that you feel like do not get a lot of airtime, but you feel like the world needs to know about?
Bro, WRC right about now.
Yeah.
There's a lot, honestly. I think. Okay, well, I said WRC, so let's pin that, right? Because I'm going to say that's the number one series I think people really need to be checking out, because there's some gnarly stuff going on with World Rally Championship right now.
Yeah.
Hypercar. Okay. Peugeot just ran. What was that? 2 hours of Spa or whatever that was. Just a couple weeks ago, they debuted the car. I'm trying to. Monza. No, it was Monza.
Yeah.
Right. So Peugeot debuted their hypercar. You got the Glickenhaus. You've got the Toyotas. Right. The Alpines are running a hybrid system in an LMP car, but I think next year they'll have their own car. Then you've got Cadillac. We talked about this on the Brain Trust. You got the Cadillac.
Yeah, I remember you showed that.
Yeah. So you got the Porsche LMDH cars coming on. So that whole hypercar segment, dude, popping.
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, you and I we do the sim thing, right? We
Yes.
race GT3 cars.
Mm-hmm.
GT3s is always the shit.
Yes.
Okay, GT3 racing is always the shit, and it's popping, right? Even in the United States with the IMSA series, right? Been watching some of the TCR races within that, pretty
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, WRC, that new hybrid class, bro, that is Group 5 2.0. I'm sorry, not Group 5, Group B 2.0.
Yeah. Yeah. When you showed me that, like, they were going like crazy. Like it's like they don't even
Dude,
lift. They don't even lift off the gas. It's like they.
oh my god.
What I mean is they don't even hit the brake. It's kind of like they downshift and they engine brake through the turns.
Yeah, the engine brake and just tap the brake to make sure there's pressure in the cylinder, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's when you see that light flash. Literally, they're just tapping to make sure there's pressure in the cylinder,
Mm-hmm.
so that they can utilize engine braking. But
Yeah.
dude, you saw that, right?
Yeah. I saw it.
This is a real B&H customer story.
Like the speeds were they're incredible, and it really is kind of like we're taking Group B rally, and we just fast forwarded it into the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we incorporated all this new latest technology so that we're not having all these cars that don't have the structural and engineering capabilities to handle the horsepower and the speeds, right? That was the danger back in the day, dude. You could throw gobs of horsepower into a motor, but the engineering of the chassis designs and all that wasn't up to par.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were dying.
Yeah,
dude, you hardly see these cars going off nowadays.
No, you don't. You don't see a lot of photographers getting ran over either.
Yeah, you don't see that. So now you're really starting to see what that Group B life is really like, dude.
Yeah, yeah. This is what it should have been 30 years ago. You know, when Audi was taking over, when it was running the Quattros and stuff.
Wait, say that again. You said 30 years ago with the Audis?
Well, this is what it should have been 30 years ago, when Audi was taking over with the Quattros.
Yeah, we just weren't there with it with regards to the type of differential transmission technologies. Now we're also running they're running hybrid kits, mm-hmm. right? So these cars are also electrified as well, right? Mm-hmm. So there's an added element to that, and that's what's making these cars just, dude, like I said, you saw the vids, bro. It was stupid.
No, it's crazy. It's just the suspension designs. I would just say the future is bright for auto racing, and it's weird to hear myself even say that because I don't like EVs. I've always said I never like EVs, but the more I watch, hybrid cars race or EV cars race, the more I'm kind of getting behind them, and I'm realizing that they don't have to do away with combustible motors. That they'll just have their own separate series, and that's just what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I hope it'll just be a healthy balance as opposed to like EV or electrical just taking over.
There's that. Well, like I said, man, the hybrid, hypercar.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it, right? You're like all your highest classes right about now mm-hmm. have some form of hybridization already incorporated, right? Whether it's Formula One, mm-hmm. hypercar, even WEC, right? World Endurance, right? Where they basically got rid of the LMP1 cars mm-hmm. and then went to hypercar.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a more integrated sort of hybridization unit. The only hypercar that's not running any sort of hybrid setup is Glickenhaus.
Yes.
Right. Glicks are the only guys that are not running a hybrid setup. Mm-hmm. But, you got Formula E and you have the ETCR.
Yes.
I think you did a video on that, right?
Yeah, with the Hyundais.
Go ahead and speak on it.
Man, those Hyundais, man, like one of the main complaints when it came to like electrical cars is that their cornering out the apex or their acceleration out the apex was extremely slow. I think they fixed that.
It was slow?
That used to be a main complaint. Like, for instance, like I was telling you, that go-kart that used to come out to the track, it was cold on the straights, but as soon as it hits that corner, like it hits the turn, it's like a turtle.
Oh, you want to know what my personal opinion on that is? Mm-hmm. I think, okay, I think driving and racing electric vehicles is there's a fundamental difference in how you drive it, right? Because I know this because we used to do this thing, and I'll send you the vid, bro. It's on the same Two Flags Racing channel as the vids I did from back in the day.
Yeah.
But we used to do this thing called Fast Tuesdays, right? So a lot of guys that used to track their Porsches and all that kind of stuff, we would all meet up at this indoor kart track on Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
And we literally just battle it out so you can get the top in the quickest time.
Yeah.
Right. And with electric, because motors are high torque, you don't brake as much.
Okay.
So you have to judge your braking distance a little bit different.
Yeah.
Tap it, let the motor back wind, right? Regen. And then so you have to judge the speed as you go into the apex a little bit different with an electric car because of how it fundamentally operates. I don't know if that's a driving technique translation error type of thing. I'm not really sure. Right. But it seems like when I watch like Formula E and all that kind of stuff, I can listen to the engine notes or the motor notes, and I can draw a semblance to like electric karting and all that. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I think fundamentally how electric motors propel cars. Yeah. There's a relearning that maybe needs to happen. Right. That's just my personal thing.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I guess because we've been just in that one side of racing for probably about 100 years now.
Right.
So now we're just having to figure it out. Well, I guess we went from very, small width size tires on a Bentley to, cars that have 13-inch width tires on a car, so we'll have to change like that, except this time we're changing the whole power plant and how that power plant is balanced with the whole car itself. That was one of the main things I was always curious about. Like, for instance, like if you have a 1,000 horsepower Toyota Supra, right? It won't be pretty. I've never seen too many of them that are balanced enough to be able to use that power on a circuit efficiently. They're usually only good on the straights,
Well, that's the reason why typically you'll see a lot of like road cars that do a lot of road racing and stuff. Usually the horsepower totals clip out around 650 to 680, right? Because you got to think about how much straight you actually have to apply it. It's only when you get to say like the Nordschleife and Le Mans and Monza. I'm trying to think of like tracks that have long straights where you could really just let the motor just breathe, right? There's so many tracks where you could just literally open it up and just let the shit go full song, right? I think that's where the appeal of like the V10 and V12 Formula One cars come into play, because the acceleration on them was so quick. You hear these things scream at full song. They'd hit 18,000, 19,000 RPMs by the time you got down to the end of Monster Straight, right? So with the hypercars and electrification, how that's going to be the way you make up for that. Because the high torque motor. So when you pair it with a petrol motor, right? Depending on how you have the two systems working together, it'll propel the car in much the same manner. I'll tell you right now, the hypercars, like the Toyota hypercar, that you honestly, dude, they got that shit scaled back. Trust me on this. They got it dialed back. That thing can do a lot more than what it's doing.
Well, that's usually always the case with a lot of those hypercars.
Well, they were complaining about the balance of performance at Le Mans. They scaled the shit out of the car back. Guess who still ended up winning?
Toyota, right?
Right.
That's just how it works. I mean,
I'm just saying, like,
they're ahead of the
trust
game.
me. Yeah, I was going to say, the Toyota's ready. If you just wick that thing all the way up to where they want to send those cars going, that Toyota can do it already.
No, I agree. I mean,
yep.
I mean, that's why they won all those years, man. It's just kind of like, I think if I'm not mistaken, didn't the first year that they even get in Le Mans, didn't they win? Like the first year?
Well, when the first year that they entered the TS040, I think it was.
Yeah, that one.
That was the one. Yeah.
Yeah. So. I think Toyota they spend a lot of money on research, and they care about their workers from the top.
Well, and remember, this is the second year for this car. Right, they have this. They've had this car ready to go already. That's why I was like, dude, they're ahead of the game. I think Peugeot's got some shit in their back pocket too. To be honest with you,
Peugeot and Porsche.
Porsche. Yep.
I think Porsche.
Well, Porsche is just going to take that hybrid the 919 LMP1 car.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically throwing that over to the hypercar.
The thing about Porsche is, I think in the next 5 years, we're going to really see them flex their muscles. Not only did they put in a bid for Formula One to take over the Red Bull, but I think they're really about to start flexing their muscles in all aspects of racing. And when you start to see the Porsche 911s on the street, you start realizing that those are hybrids. That's when you know it's really about to be Porsche time in the world. That's kind of a bold statement, but that's what I feel is about to happen right now with Porsche. So I don't know. I mean, I just look at what they've been doing as far as all the money that they've been putting out, all the cars that they've been producing. They've been kind of innovators for a while now. So when they start to, join all these other forms of racing, is even with scooters and stuff like that, and designing scooters and stuff like that, I think Porsche is really starting to flex their muscle. I think we've mostly only seen them as combustible motors that are in the rear hatch of a car. But I think now they're about to show that they're more than just, gas. They're about to be more than just something that is just making noise and just putting out, bad emissions. They're about to show that they can still be fast and they can still regulate the industry. We post a link in the comments real quick. All right, we good. There we go. I think I lost you. But there's the link if you want to join. But yeah, with Porsche, I think that's going to be the case with them. One of the forms of racing that I feel that needs more coverage, speaking for me, we had Ulysses say that rally, which I believe rally does as well, because it's kind of always been there, but it kind of like goes to the back and then comes back up. Yo, what up? Welcome back. Hold on. Let me unmute you. Okay, there you go.
Sorry about that, man. I had to get on my other phone. Dude, I was just like totally walking around, totally forgot that my battery was about to go dead.
I feel you.
So I jumped on my other device, so my avatar is different, but I'm the same guy, you guys.
Same guy. I got you.
Same guy, same dude.
We know you're not. We know you're not a.
Well, I'm not.
You're not a government. You're not a government plan or anything.
You know that.
The spook that stepped by the door.
No, exactly right.
Shit! That movie was crazy. Anyways, what was I about to say? Oh yeah, one of the forms of racing that I feel needs more coverage. It's going to be Super GT.
Okay, Super GT. You're talking about
GT racing in Japan.
Yeah.
So it's like IMSA here, right? But it's over there. And they're running Supras, NSX, GT. Well, they're not running the GTR this year. They're running the new Nissan Z. They're running the RCFs. They do run a Ferrari. They run the Subaru BRZ, the Toyota FRS. Well, not FRS. Is it a Toyota FRS still? Yeah, it's a Toyota FRS.
FRS? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they run a Corolla. Yeah, man, but the Super GT series is something I've always been interested in, something I've always watched from when I was younger. And I really feel like if people watched that more and understood like how competitive those cars are and how they're like there's battling on every single turn, in those races. It's like they don't give out a lot of penalties as well. So it's kind of like you can kind of like nudge your way through a turn, and it's like they don't consider that a penalty.
You know what's interesting though? You know why? Is because the Japanese are very crafty. They have a very there's always been a knock on Japanese drivers. Now I will say this. What's his name?
Yeah, Mark Jada, bro.
No. What's his name? Kobayashi. Kamu Kobayashi.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now he is the last Japanese driver to really take it to motherfuckers.
Yeah,
he set the lap record at Le Mans. a couple years ago in the Toyota.
Okay.
Okay, Camus is no joke.
Yeah.
He races in the Formula. What is that? The open wheel series in Japan as well.
Super Formula.
Yeah, Super Formula. He races in there as well.
That was my next one too. Super Formulas where it's at, man. Like, I feel like if everybody likes Formula One, but you don't like Indy, then naturally you would like Super Formula.
I was gonna say Super Formula is something because the races go live like in the middle of the night, especially here on the West Coast. Yeah. But I've been following Super Formula. It's literally like a mix between Formula One and IndyCar.
Honestly,
it's literally like a mix.
No, it is. Honestly, I think those cars look better though than Formula One.
I think honestly, if you want my opinion, they are the better car between the Formula One cars and the Indy cars.
Yeah, they are. They are. Like this new, and see, one thing I've said though, this new style of Formula One, I've never liked. Like, I don't like like for instance, like with the Corvette, I don't like cars that are like low in the mid, but they're high in the front. You know?
Well, here's the thing, man. I think the new Formula One cars, they've gotten too fucking big. They used to be, dude. Formula One cars used to be smaller than Indy cars.
No, they did. They used to be very small. Very small.
They used to be smaller. Indy cars are smaller than Formula One cars now. The Super Formula cars are smaller than the Formula One car. The Formula One cars are the ones that are big, bulky, porpoising. Right? Like, I don't know, dude. Formula One got away. They got away from basically high output V10s and V12s.
Yes.
They got away from that, dude. Like, it was like a small compact chassis, Supreme Aero, and a V10 or a V12 that could scream to about 1,000 RPM.
Yeah. No,
that was the magic formula, man.
No, it was, and it was just a lot. It was a lot more exhilarating back then. When you
the engine notes?
Yeah, when you were watching the Formula One races
Good
back
God,
then,
the sound.
You felt scared for them.
Dude, the sounds were just insane.
It's kind of like, how are you even driving this car? Like, how do you still have hearing? Yeah, because that was loud. Loud.
How can you even hear what I'm telling you right now?
And I'm not talking about the V8s. That's the one that were like Sebastian Vettel. They were younger, and Hamilton were younger, right? That's the V8s, right?
Well, the thing was that they started slapping turbos on them.
Yeah, but the one that sent them, they were driving in like 91. Those had turbos.
Yeah, but I'm saying when they went to like the V10s and the V12s, that Schumacher, Coulthard, Barrichello, Olivier Panis, Giancarlo Fisichella, Mika Hakkinen, that whole era. Holy crap, dude! Those cars are just stupid.
No, it was stupid. Fly around that turn. It's just, and then let's mention this. Not all the teams had paddle shifters.
Oh no, we're talking about that era where they started bringing in those type of innovations, right? And I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be some people listening that say, "You didn't say Damon Hill." Damon Hill. Okay, there you go.
Well, he's kind of he was a late bloomer.
But he's still
a world.
You don't mention a British world champion, dude.
Right. But he's still a world champion, though. So
he is. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been meaning to get his book, by the way. I've been meaning to get his book. I want to read it. I got what's my face? Who is it? I got Mark Webber's book.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Mark Webber.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good read.
He was one of the first Red Bull drivers.
Yeah, he's speaking exactly like I thought he's speaking exactly like I thought an Australian guy was speaking. I'll say that much. They just give out that vibe that I'm gonna go to this bar and punch out here.
Yeah, have a couple of brewskis and.
No, I'm gonna have a couple of Fosters.
It's Australian for beer, mate.
Right. But no, man, the Super Formula, that's one of the races, the forms of racing that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I want. That and Super GT, those are the ones that I wish would make it more. Because for me, for instance, right, my goal was never to get to Formula One or
Uh-huh.
IMSA or Indy or anything. My goal was to get to Super GT.
What?
That's it. No, because like
You
I
want?
did. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that was your goal, was to get to Japan to race.
Yeah, because it's like
Okay.
that's my pinnacle. Like Formula One's not my pinnacle. Super GT is,
Okay.
So that's why I like Super GTs. It's the cars. It's just, and don't take me back to the golden years when you had all the Toyota Supras, the R33 Skylines, the R34 Skylines. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yep. The Calsonic
the Cal Sonic,
Skyline,
all that
the
stuff. Like, those
all
were
that
golden.
shit. Yep.
The RX-7s, the Nissan
Yep.
Silvias.
The Sylvia,
Man, come on.
the Supra.
The Corollas, like you had all those cars. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Like the 90s was really, when you think about it, the 90s was a really good time for racing all over the world.
Well, yeah, and if it was
Think
like
about it.
depending on the region, right?
Yes.
Because when you start talking like Japan and stuff, dude, Japan, like, okay, so like when you start talking about like touring, okay, you have the GT classes, right? Super GT, right?
Mhm.
But let's just say when you start talking about super touring, for example,
Mhm.
okay, super touring had classes all over, right?
Yeah.
They had, right, even in North America. Do you remember those races?
No, I don't.
Oh, dude. Okay, pencil this. That's the last thing we need to do. We'll pull up the races. They're on YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know that there was a North American Touring Car Championship that ran from 96 to 97. Okay. You want to know what happened?
What happened?
In short, NASCAR killed it. We'll get into that. That's a live stream we need to do.
Well, that makes sense. NASCAR is the mafia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. NASCAR killed it, dude, because
Yeah.
they were like, you know what? We're not going to have two sedan racing series
Mhm.
where one is more identical to one is more, can be more,
Yeah.
to the consumer versus the other, right?
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're
The
saying.
cars are cheaper, dude. Touring cars are a lot cheaper to produce.
Yes.
Okay, they come out. You're going to use production shells, right? So you don't have to fab up a bunch of shit. So, touring car, the NATCC was viewed as a competition series to NASCAR, and they legit nuked it, bro.
Mhm. Well, I mean, I can see that, because if you think about it, NASCAR was kind of like WWF at the time. Like, we're not gonna allow WCW to take our shine, because NASCAR, if you think about it, like I was saying, all over the world, the 90s had good racing everywhere. And then like even NASCAR in the 90s, like I'm not a NASCAR guy, but it was very entertaining. Like the races that they had, like you had a superstar with every team almost,
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, the thing about, see, my problem with it was that NATCC was a support series of IndyCar.
Okay.
At the time. Okay. Dude, these are completely different series. And like I said, Touring Cars was the support series to IndyCar for all of the road events, the road course events. And then NATCC would break off. They ran a couple races up in Canada. Okay. So it was a touring car event, right? It was almost like if you went to Europe and you went and caught a Formula One race, and then they ran a touring car support race at, say, Spa or some shit. Okay, that's kind of how it was. NASCAR viewed it as a threat, bro. So they nuked the touring car series in North America like within 2 years. But the whole point of this is that when you went to Japan and you looked at their touring car series, bro, they had a whole different idea of what a touring car was.
No, they did. They did.
Yeah.
You couldn't imagine.
Their cars looked. You didn't see cars like theirs in Europe or in North America or Australia or Asia or I'm sorry, in Japan. They had a different idea of what a touring car was.
Yeah, but see, I think Japan had it. They had it right. They had the right formula. So there's like this moniker that United States, it's power, 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 with the sacrifice of performance. So Japan, they honestly, I feel like they had that balance formula right. So they might have a car that's only a four banger and it's only putting out 300 horsepower, but the car can take out a car like a Corvette that's pushing out 600 or 700 horsepower just
Yeah,
because of the balance of the car.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Well, I'm
like
saying
that's
like when
why
you
do you
look
think
at
everybody like? Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was going to say when you look at a JTCC car,
Hmm.
especially from the later era, right?
Hmm.
And then you look at a BTCC car or any European touring car for that matter from that era.
Hmm.
Dude, the Japanese out engineered the shit out of everybody else.
No, they
Their
did.
cars. Did you remember the what was the oh damn, what was that? They had this one stupid touring car. It had like this huge wing on it. It was almost like a full size sedan. It was a Toyota. I'm trying to remember what it was. They ran it in like 98,
A
97,
crown?
98.
Was it a
Huh?
crown or Cressida?
Yeah, that's what it was. The Crown. It was like it ran the Advent colors, the black and
Yeah,
red.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
see that car?
Yeah.
Dude, does that look
Was it
like
that one
does
or is
that
it
look like that was built off of a production car to you?
or is that the GS300? Well, the Aristo.
No, no. This was before that. We're talking maybe like late 90s.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, they're pretty. The
I'm just
JGT
saying, dude, the
Miata.
Japanese, when they built a touring car, they interpreted the rules completely different than everybody else. And I'm just saying, the Japanese had the craziest touring cars to be running a touring car, right? In
No,
a touring
they
car
did.
series.
They
Yeah.
did, but that's
Their
what I'm
cars look
saying. Like,
stupid.
but here's the reason why they were able to do that, though. A lot of their cars were built off of the same chassis. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, so
Hmm.
for instance, like the Toyota Sorolla, aka the Lexus SC300.
That's what it was, dude. It was the
It-
Soarer. That's what it was.
Okay, the Sora, right? The Sora, whatever. And then you
Yeah.
have the Lexus GS300, aka the Toyota Aristo, and the
Uh-huh.
Toyota Supra. They're pretty much interchangeable when it comes to like parts because the chassis like line up.
Is it the
So
same chassis?
it's not the same chassis, but
Hmm.
from what I know is a suspension kit for a Sora will fit in a Supra, vice versa will fit in a GS.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's from what I know. I could be wrong,
Okay.
but
Okay.
they would interchange a lot of those things. For instance, like that famous Toyota Castro Supra that everybody
Yeah.
loves.
Yep.
That wasn't running a 2J. It was running a 3S. Yeah, it was running a 3S GTE motor out of a Corolla. Because it was better displacement. You were still able to get enough power, and it weighed a lot less than the 2J, and it made the Supra a lot more balanced in the turns. For instance, I want to say that the newer GTRs, like from 2005 and up, they weren't even running the RB26s. I think they were running the V3s or something like that. VQs, I think. Yo, they there? All right, yeah, but that's the thing. They were very interchangeable, and I think that they understood that. I just think that Japan had the formula right when it came to building a beautiful production car that could be shown on the track in order to increase their sales. Second to them, I think is hold on. Second to them, I think Britain. I think Britain got it right. I like BTCC. Darius, the JGTC Miata never finished the race. I don't remember ever seeing a Miata in JGTC. It was probably in the GT300 class, I bet. I gotta look that one up. Come on. I'm curious what that one looks like. A Miata and JGTC. Let's see. Hmm. Okay. I think I see one. Just a second. Hold on, guys. My bad. Told y'all I'm still new to this stuff. Messing up. All right, bet. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Well, here we go. The MX5. I hope you guys can see it, but it's the MX5 that shouldn't 13 be overlooked. I guess this is the one this had to race in the JGT 300. Yeah, JG 300 class in particular. You gotta love side exit exhaust. And the MX5 impressive. Well, yes, this was not your average shoddily prepared track day MX5 though. The MX5 was built by Nogami Project, or No Pro for short. No Pro was and still is one of the top MX5 specialists in Japan. Internally, though, this MX5 was a true monster, powered by a heavily modified 13B rotary engine producing around 300 brake horsepower. Unfortunately, while this sounds like a recipe for a rather quick car, the MX5 was plagued with technical faults and a general lack of pace. The first race the car entered was the fourth round of the championship in 1997, the Japan Special GT Cup at Fuji Speedway, and things didn't go particularly well. The rotary MX5 was 2 seconds per lap off the pace of other cars and ended up having to retire due to engine problems. Okay. They tried a couple times and looks like they retired it. Huh. But it's kind of looking like they're saying that the rotary was the cause, but I don't necessarily think that's the case because whoops. Hey, you here? You here?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. My bad. I was reading that thing. I didn't realize. Oh yeah.
No, you're okay, man. It was, I don't know what was going on with the well, my other phone, dude, it overheated because it's so hot outside. So I went and jumped back on my other phone because it charged, dude. So yeah, that's what happened.
You gotta get an intercooler for your for your phone.
I legit need an intercooler for my phone, bro.
Right. Yo. Oh, okay, man. But one thing I also wanted to talk about, man, is why do we think it's important for young black kids to get into racing?
Especially like you think things like sim racing and stuff.
Sim racing, yeah. Well, let's just stick with sim racing. Sim racing. Why do we think it's important for them to get into sim racing? Because to me, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If we spend so much time on our playing NBA 2K, playing Madden, like we spend all that time, and it's cool, but there's something more productive, I feel, to your brain when you sim race. Not only does it increase your concentration levels, but the discipline that you obtain just from riding around a track 100 times trying to get it right and trying to hit that breaking point time after time after time, that is not something that I feel is replicated in any sports games, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think it prepares you for the future, you know?
So, to that I would say it's no different than shooting a basketball, right? Hundreds of times, right? To get your free throw stroke, your 3-point stroke, right? That mid-range stroke, right? Getting the layup, right? Practicing them layup drills, right? What's different between that and those laps?
Yes.
Right? What's the difference? I think what sim racing does is it opens up racing. We've always, I think, a lot of us, we've kind of seen it as something very cool. It's like more of a brand cachet, not something that we've always kind of looked at intrinsically and said, I want to get into the engineering. I want to do the engine building. I want to do, all these various aspects of motorsport, or certain aspects of motorsport, or hell, I want to even drive for that matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think sim opens us up to all that. We can
Yes.
tune cars, we can practice, we can change setups, and this is all based on real data collected from the cars, dumped into a 3D algorithm, Unreal Engine,
Mm-hmm.
right? We talked about even some of the haptic effects, right? The rocks hitting the bottom of the car, right?
Yeah.
That feel,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm throwing that in air quotes, that feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that sim and the level of immersion,
Mm-hmm.
it matches the real world car to such an extent that I think that it's actually a tool or a mechanism for grooming talent. And you can create, we talked about, we talk about our sim rigs, right? Listen, I got a cheaper sim rig than you, right? You got the fancy pedals, right? We still use the G29 wheel, but you've got, the pedals, and, basically what you're explaining to the pedals to me, I'm like, okay, well, that's going to give you more of a real, even more submersion, more submersive feel of a car in a sim environment, right?
Yeah.
We're getting so close, right? Where somebody starts clipping competitive laps in ACC and Spa, somebody might take note and say, hey, look, let me put you in a real car and see what you do.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
No, I
So
totally
sim,
agree.
yeah, sim has the ability from the home to hone craft and skill. And it's not even just ACC, bro. Like, dude, what about kartcraft, dude? Karting, for example, right? Karting sims. There's all these other different ones. Um, you know, it's really kind of, now you just kind of pick, because I'm not on iRacing, but iRacing has so many different series, right? Whether it's dirt, it's oval. You have your rally. I'm trying to remember the name of that rally sim that there is. You have the Automobilista,
Yes.
which is has like the LMP, right? I think Race Room has DTM and LMP. You know, uh, okay, Assetto Corsa even has the LMPs, right? I ran those on the Nordschleife for trying to get under a sub 6 minute lap on that shit, right? But these things build the skill sets necessary. Sim rigs build the necessary skill sets to be able to actually do it in the real world. That's why I think it's very important that we actually push this as a gaming option.
No, I
Yeah,
totally agree.
yeah.
Well, Darius, I can hear myself in the background.
It might,
Darius.
it might be my headset, bro. I'm gonna mute. Okay.
Okay, cool. Darius, he brings up a good question. He says, "Good idea, but how do you promote it? What grammar high school advertises iRacing?" And
Oh,
yeah, and he's like,
we were
"Otherwise,
just we were just talking about this,
just talking
dude.
about that. Otherwise, a kid will only learn about it if their parents or friends are big racers." And now he's very true. But see, we could go down a wormhole, but I don't see why we shouldn't go down that wormhole. Number one, I totally agree with you, man. Like, the thing about it is, the only way we're able to promote it is to make it available. Like, to be honest with you, I don't think a lot of black people know that one of the most winningest Formula One racers is black.
It's Lewis Hamilton.
They don't even know that.
He's
But
literally the GOAT. He's literally the GOAT. I
but
don't give a shit
you
if
know
he
what
was
I'm saying?
cheated last year. He's still the GOAT.
He's still the GOAT, but it's not being pushed. It's not being advertised. Like, for instance, like most black kids don't know that the Super Soaker was made by a black guy. The black
Okay.
guy invented the
Street signs were made by black men.
yeah,
Aluminum foil.
exactly.
Brake master cylinders.
All of that.
All that shit.
Benjamin Banneker with the clock. So it's like,
The almanac, Farmer's Almanac, Benjamin Banneker.
exactly. So it's kind of like, I think what it is, I think it starts at the root of us, real, like, understanding that we need to push more technical skills that
Mm-hmm.
are built on building the community, as opposed to just things that are built off of our physical abilities. I'm the main. Well, I don't know if the right word is whatever. But I'm the main cheerleader when it comes to teaching your kids how to take apart something like electrical, or putting some
Yeah.
type of technical knowledge in their brain versus teaching them how to play basketball or play football. I'm
Hmm.
gonna make a point, because the thing about it is, you have to think about it. If there's 10 black kids that play football, only one of them is going to make it to the NFL. It's just a fact.
That's the ratio? 10-1?
Well, I don't know if it's 10-1, but I'm just saying, just in general, like, think about it. It's only like 2 to
Because I was gonna say, I think it's even 1,000-1. You think about all the kids who play football, youth, high school, college, all that, right? And then how many of those are only drafted, right?
Yeah, it's really low. But the thing about it is, if you push those 10 kids to do good in school and find a trade that's going to benefit them as well as benefiting their community, they have a higher chance of succeeding in that. The ratio for that is probably 100%, give or take. They don't make a bad decision that's going to like take them off the path. So that kind of
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, dude.
But that just kind of goes to like my whole point, like as far as when it comes to racing. I feel like if we push these particular like sub entertainment groups to our kids, they would take to them if we show them the benefits and show that it's fast and fun. Because let's be honest, all black kids are competitive. We're competitive. We're the most competitive group. We want to beat you. We want to beat you. We want to beat you. We don't care if you're our friend or not. We want to beat you. And the best way to do that is to race somebody. Because the thing about it is, sim racing, it allows you to become one with yourself. It allows you to calm your nerves. It allows you to reset your body and your mind every single time you cross the line, because you realize you have 30 more laps. That right there is teaching you how to be a calm individual. That's why I feel like this is way more, sim racing is way more important than anything else when it comes to that.
You know what, dude? When you said it like that, that's why I had to kind of maybe think about, a little bit deeper what you're saying, right? And that's true. Like racing is a high speed chess match, right? So even at high speeds, it requires. Yeah, it's a high speed chess match, but even at high speeds, it requires patience, cunning, timing. When somebody, you're trying to trick somebody into a mistake to open that gap to get in there to make the pass, right? Like, there's so many mental aspects, because you're in a car. This doesn't require you to be able to jump high, run fast. You're not doing that, right? You're turning a wheel and pushing pedals and using your eyes, right? Using your ears, listen to the engine note. This is a different science, man, because what we're doing is we're also fusing engineering, right? See, the engineer might come on the radio, right? And based on what he's seeing from the Motec data, right? He's saying, hey, listen, when you come up to turns 4, 8, and 10, like brake a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Okay. And it'll accelerate quicker through the apex, right? Because the data is showing me that you're actually losing time there, right? That's over the radio. Okay. And then in real time, guess what you do when you come up to up, right? So this is a whole different type of sporting environment.
Yeah.
And it's not something we're not traditionally, culturally speaking, this isn't something that we engage in wholesale, right? We're sort of like, you and I, a few others, people that are listening in the chat, stuff like, we're kind of like that outlier group, right?
Yeah.
But we not only do we do it in sim, but we've also done it in karting, right? So let's say on the very rudimentary level where all of these concepts apply. We were just talking about Charles Leclerc and Ferrari, right? Where did he come from? Came from karting.
Yeah.
Where did George Russell come from? Karting. Where did Lewis Hamilton come from? Karting. Where did Ayrton Senna come from? Karting. Michael Schumacher. Karting. Get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
See, so what we do is we start with sim, because sim is the easiest thing we can do. It's in the home. A lot of people have computers. And I'm pretty sure at this point they have computers that have the graphics power and stuff like that, or you can pop in a graphics card or whatever, right? Or even if you were going to build a sim rig, we already know. Another idea, let's pencil it, dude. Budget sim rigs to get into this type of stuff. Maybe we should do a live stream on that, right?
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, I'm the main person that can tell you about that. I can tell you how to do budget.
Well, you're the one who's updated your sim rig, not me.
Hey,
I'm still using the stock G29 pedals, bro.
But I started out from the, don't look at me now. You know what I'm saying? Don't look at all this glitz and glamour and all this bling now.
Oh, shit.
You gotta look at you wasn't there with me when I was shooting in the gym. You understand?
Oh shit, here we go.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, yeah. I'm telling you.
Wait, what's that Drake joint? What was that Drake joint? What was that shit? What's it called? What is it?
I can't remember.
Damn, I'm gonna think about it. What it was like.
It's gonna pop up.
Yeah. Anyway.
Listen, especially when it comes to karting, man, I started from the bottom. I'm talking about the bottom. My first kart.
Well, wait a minute. You started with a comp kart, didn't you?
That don't mean nothing.
Yeah, it means everything. I didn't start with a comp kart. You want to know what I started with?
What?
I started with a piece of shit Margay chassis, bro. That in hindsight, I should not have cut a rail off of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you had a comp kart.
It was a piece of shit. It was It was a 2019, but it was just.
Was it wadded?
It was. Just
it was wadded.
It was just the brake system with the brakes was rusty. The spindles were bent. Yo, what up, 2Cray? I appreciate that. Yo, 2Crazy.
Yo, shout out to everybody coming through the chat, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. If you guys care to, please subscribe. Well, care to. Hopefully, since you're here, you like what we're talking about. Please subscribe also, right? And if you feel the impetus to, there's a PayPal, I think it is. You can donate.
Yeah,
right.
PayPal is where
I'm working with my brother Jamal, Keita Auto. We're going to try to build off this sim racing platform, man. So, support the movement.
Yeah, man. Listen, my first kart was like rusted on the bottom. I tell you, I did one track day, like to break it down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it was scary. Let's put it that much. But I sold.
Why was the pedal going all the way down?
Nah, man, the pedal was working good. It's just. I don't know how to explain it, but when you drive in a cart and it's just like something ain't right about this cart.
What, it wouldn't stop?
No, it would stop. It was just like when I would brake, it would shake so violently. And then coming out
it was shake?
Yeah, and then like coming out of a turn, it would like it was just very off center. But anyways,
dude. Okay, yeah. It ain't supposed to shake under braking, bro.
Yeah, but no, I got rid of that.
Yeah.
And then I got a new cart, but it took me a while because then I got a whole video on my YouTube channel how I started that, man. Like I didn't have a trailer, I didn't have none of that stuff. I had like one of them little racks that you put, and I put this on the back of my Toyota Yaris. So
hell yeah!
When people be like, "Yo, I don't have a car to pull my cart,"
shit, it's a cart, bro. You can find something to pull that shit. It's a cart.
I was thinking about getting some ski racks and putting it on top of that thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say no, dude. There's dudes in SoCal. They legit do that, bro.
Yeah.
They legit do that. They'll literally rack the cart on top of the car, right? Take the motor, wheels off, all that shit. Put it inside the car, body panels. Yeah. Get to the track. They're linking up with another squad. They're gonna go under their tent. They just pull everything out the car, stick it under the tent, put it together. Nope, dudes have done it, bro. Yep.
No, it's really about if you're willing to do it, and that's what I learned when it comes to karting. It's really just about are you willing to do it? But the best way to get into this racing stuff is the most inexpensive way, and that's sim racing.
That's sim racing. Yep, that's facts, bro. That's facts.
The best way to do it, because the thing about it, say you don't even get into karting, say you just become a sim racer. That's sim race, and you become a really good sim racer. That sim race can take you a lot of places.
I was gonna say, bro, like dudes went from sim to real racing. There's dudes that thrown thousands of dollars into karting, never to make it where guys have gone with sim. Yeah, real talk, dude. Like that's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. But no, I mean that's just the situation, man. I think we just gotta. I think that just needs to be pushed, and I think honestly, because it's not that many people that have rigs at their house. But once they actually sit in a rig, like if a kid sat in a rig and like started driving and stuff like that, he would love it. He would want to do it every morning. He would want to wake up every morning and drive
Just
car.
get in the rig and just drive, dude.
Drive, you know.
So let me ask you this, dude. Well, we just kind of we determined that this is actually another live stream we should do, right? So, budget rigs, medium. Maybe we do budget rigs, medium price rigs, high end rigs, right?
Yeah.
Based on what you're really trying to do, because as long as the computer itself can push the 3D engine, which is pretty much most computers nowadays. As long as you don't have it running a bunch of stuff, pretty much you can run a settled course, stuff like that, right? But I think what we're more or less talking about is like peripherals, right? And our setup. What is it? A single screen? Is it a tri-screen? Is it the curved screen? Yeah. Is it VR? Are we doing load cell pedals? Are we doing direct drive wheels? Right? What are we doing? You know?
Yeah.
There's so much to this that there's this peripheral aspect that gives to the immersion of sim racing, right? And we want to kind of maybe expound on that a little bit, right? So that we can kind of break down what's the cost of entry. Because, dude, if you already have a computer, now what we're talking about is a seat and a kit, right? Yeah. And then going on Steam and purchasing the games, the downloads.
Yeah.
Right? And then from there, dude, like you said, it's practice. Shout out to Allen Iverson, right?
Right. What's practice?
Practice. Man, we talking about practice.
We talking about practice?
Man, we talking about practice.
The funny thing about it is in racing, you can't get away from practice, though.
Dude, well, honestly, bro, isn't that dope? Like, that's the dope thing about racing is just getting laps in. I like going to the track, dude, just getting it in.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I like to get laps in, bro.
Yeah, it's for me, it's very spiritual and very therapeutic, man. Like, 'cause when I'm going through things, man, it's nothing like. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when I'm going through things, I don't want to do anything. But one thing I can always count on is that I can get behind the wheel of a car that I can only dream to drive, and push it to the limit, and then run into a wall a couple times.
Well, let me ask you. Well, I was gonna say, let me ask you something about that, dude. Like, yeah. And this has more to do with sort of like, say the far-reaching limits of sim racing stuff, since it is getting so immersive. Like, how lost do you get in it? I noticed that maybe, if I do like Nordschleifer runs, dude, like halfway through that lap, dude, I forget I'm sitting in a rig. Right. When I do the 10-minute stint races, I see about 2 laps in, I'm legit trying to like race, right? And I forget that, I'm sitting in a sim rig and I'm like legit racing. So what's that immersive experience like for you?
It depends. It just depends on my mind state. But normally, if I'm in a very competitive race, it just feels like I'm playing follow the leader for a long time until somebody makes a mistake or I force a mistake. So it's very immersive to me. It's just like, to me, it feels like another world. Like when it comes to sim racing. It's hard to explain. You really have to experience it for yourself. And the bad thing about it is you might not experience the level I'm talking about until you really get into it, as far as like you kind of feel comfortable like driving the car on the limit. But when you're in the beginning of it, you think it's just fun. But then once you want to get faster and you want to get better, that's when you become like really like entranced to where you forgot how you did 10 laps. And when you forget how you did 10 laps, that's when you know you're winning.
Right, and that's why I wanted to kind of ask you about that, right? Because that kind of lends to the other aspect of what we're talking about, right? In terms of getting, particularly like like young black boys into this realm of gaming that we call sim racing, right?
Mm.
Because what we see is that there's a level of immersion that's so accurate that it actually does translate to real world opportunities, i.e., Jan Marlborough, for
Yeah.
example, right? And so that's the reason why I was asking that question, because I kind of want to kind of put this out here for the sake of conversation. Like, no, with this particular discipline of gaming, sim racing,
Yeah.
there is a legit trajectory, right, in terms of a career, right? And these are things to explore, like later on, like other live streams, conversations, right? Because we can deep dive into that type of stuff. And we have the use cases for this. We have the examples of the guys who've done it. We were talking about this on the phone, right? Like you have McLaren, Mercedes, Porsche. They all have their esports teams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right? Even the major manufacturers are invested in this. So I think this is also a sporting venue that we should invest our young boys in. Absolutely.
I do too. I mean, it's just like a clear pipeline to, I mean, they could either be a driver or they might not feel like they have the talents to be a driver.
Engineer.
They could be an engineer.
No, there's this. Listen, dude, you got guys that run sim racing teams.
Yeah.
We will talk about that on the phone.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you might become a businessman.
Okay. Well, wait a minute. What about running your own series, setting it up virtually on all the media platforms, getting your corporate sponsorship partners, and like I said, deep dive for another time. But these are all of these various opportunities and venues to get involved in.
So there's a lot of opportunities with it, and we all know that a lot of black youths have a lot of charisma. We create style, so a lot of people are going to follow what we do, and they're going to be very interested in what we do. So when you create these various series that we speak of, it's going to be something that's just going to set the world on fire. Yeah, there is. You're talking about girls too. That's what I'm saying. When I say black youth, man, I mean everybody. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you right now. There's a chick, Darius. I want you to look her up. Her name is Sabine Schmitz. Okay, Sabine Schmitz. She is referred to as the Queen of the Ring, and when they call her the Queen of the Ring,
yeah, I know.
Yes, they're talking about the Nordschleife, the Nürburgring Nordschleife. She passed away from cancer in 2021, right? But let me tell you something. There's about 1,000 videos on YouTube right now of Sabine Schmitz handing it to motherfuckers on the Nordschleife. Why? Number one, she grew up there. Her father drove her on the Nordschleife so many times throughout her life. She knew every crevice of that goddamn thing. There's videos of her eating motherfuckers up. Right? Motorsport is one of those things where largely it's gender agnostic. Okay, because like I said, once again, it's pedals, a wheel, and your vision and eyesight and your mental acuity, how good you are, how mentally tough. It's the mental chess match I was talking about.
Yeah,
right. These are $high machinery, $high equipment. Take it off the track, it hits the wall. The first thing in your head, dude, you already know this from karting. Go off track and hit something, let the spindle, some shit break. What's the first thing that goes into your head, right? Dollars.
Fuck. It's like, damn, I only brought $100 to the track this day. First thing that goes to your head.
Yeah, that's the first thing that goes to your head. It's sort of like, God damn it. I done bent some tie rods. I bent this. I bent that. Guess what you got to go do? Find the dude at the track who sells the parts, get it, repair your cart, go back out.
Yeah. That's what it is. But see, that alone, it makes you build discernment on the track. See, when it comes to racing, there's a fine line between being aggressive, and playing your part. You have to be able to tread that line and know what's the best thing for you to do. Especially when we're talking about multiple stages within a weekend, whether you're doing it for qualifying, and the best
Hmm.
qualifying position is actually P2 because of this particular track. There's a lot of things that you have to think about. As far as like, do I want to make this? Do I want to make this dive? Is this going to cause a problem for me? Would it
Hmm.
be smart to make this
Hmm.
dive at this turn, or should I make the dive here at this turn? Because for the last 10 laps, every time I follow this guy around this particular hairpin, he always takes it wide. He takes it more wide than it should be. So if I just stay to the inside, I can overtake him or make him make a mistake because he sees me there. He's glancing. He's going to flinch. So you have to make those judgment calls when it comes to racing, as far as like being aggressive and
Hmm.
kind of passive in a sense. It's like what you said. It's chess, and that's what I
Yep.
love about racing, because it's chess. It's about knowing when to make your move, assessing the situation, and striking when you need to, or making yourself seem vulnerable and playing off
Yeah,
that,
selling the dummy.
selling the dummy. And I love that.
Selling the dummy. Yep, selling
I
the
love
dummy, man.
I love that.
It's when when you see somebody kind of going wide,
Mhm.
right? They're hunting somebody down. Somebody's driving defensive. They'll go super wide, right?
Mhm.
Break early, right? These trying to go defensive, and then what they go is they dip under, try to hit the apex before them, and get that gap in between there, right? So you're trying to sell them the dummy, but what you're doing is you're following them for about 3 laps, right?
Yeah.
And then you throw that at them,
Mhm.
throw them off to then try. You gotta get a maneuver, right? But okay, another thing that we've also experienced in racing is what? Even though you might be battling and trying to pass somebody in front of you, what are you also trying to do? Defend somebody behind you,
Yes. Yes. You got to play
right?
it
So
smart.
now we're talking about two different strategies versus I'm behind somebody, and
Mhm.
let's just say he's P1, I'm P2, and I'm trying to get past him, right?
Mhm.
So what we did was we largely used draft effect to get away from everybody else. After about 3, 4, 5 laps, I'm like, all right, shit, okay, I got to get past you, bro. I'm quicker, right?
Mhm.
Okay, that's when you go and try and sell the dummy. Now, let's just say you got P1, you're P2, and you got P3 and P4 and P5 right behind you. You guys are a group of 5.
Mhm.
That strategy is different.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you're trying to force a mistake to get around this dude. You feel as though you're quicker. At the same time, you're not trying to do nothing stupid to where you get freight trained
Mhm.
by the 3 guys behind you, because you already know how that goes in karting. Once one dude gets behind, once he gets through you, if there's 2, 3, 4, 5 guys trained right behind him, guess what they're doing?
Oh yeah.
You know this already in karting.
Yeah.
It works the same way in cars, right?
Mhm.
So it's understanding mid race strategy. Like you
Mhm.
said, this is a chess match,
Mhm.
right? It's a high dollar chess match. Um, that's why sim we're not crashing Mercedes and Porsches.
Yeah.
At least we're doing it in a virtual environment where we can kind of just hit the reset button and try it again, right?
Yeah.
However, the sensation that we're getting is so closely matched that it begs us to really start getting into it as a practice, right? As an exercise, discipline,
Mhm.
you know, to move ourselves towards physical forms of motorsport.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
it translates. It translates into the physical form. Um,
Exactly. Yes.
there's a lot of times, depending on whatever setup you have, as far as like the equipment you have, you could be driving a Porsche 993 GTR or whatever, or 991 or whatever, and then you can get into an actual Porsche and feel like, oh, I've been doing this for a while.
You've been doing it. Yeah. Exactly, dude. It's that closely matched where the seat of the pants sensation is very close.
It's very close, and then especially when it comes to a track, because whether you do iRacing, a set of Corsa or R Factor or whatever, or Formula One or F122 or whatever, the courses are pretty much like similar as far as like breaking points and stuff like that. So I feel like today, if I went over to Austria and I was not Austria, if I went over to Belgium and I wanted to do the spa. Like I feel like I could actually take that track for Eau Rouge pretty good, just based off of sim racing. That might be a little
Yeah.
arrogant. Really feel like that I could, you know?
No. It's not. It's not arrogant because if you've taken it enough times,
Yeah.
you know where those apexes are. You know how to hit it, right? So once you get onto the real track, guess what you're going to do when you see those apex points? You're literally going to aim for the same goddamn points.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
So
And then like
yeah.
and then, let's like not even to mention this, right? If you've been driving, like for me, for instance, like I learned how to drive a stick when I was like nine or 10, right? So
Yep.
for me, driving a car, I feel like is always gonna be somewhat easier than doing sim racing or karting because I feel like I didn't know a car as far as the movement of it. So I feel like if I just got my chance out there in Spa, I think I would do pretty good. You know?
Well, I think sim is a way. Like I was telling you about Fast Tuesdays, we used to do at the indoor karting track.
Yeah.
So the guys that would race their real shit out at like Willow Springs, Button Willow, Fontana, all that stuff, right? So, dude, midweek they can't take their car out there to do it, right? So where do they go to scratch that itch?
Yeah.
Right. They go do some indoor karting, right? I think sim is another way to scratch the itch, more so than even something like indoor karting, which does actually give you a physical reaction, right? Like you get more of a physical endorphin release versus say in sim where it's more of like it's a psychological one, right? But the thing about it is that when in sim we're running at perceived faster speeds, right? It's very much a psychological thing, dude. And like I said, dude, I think a lot of what we're talking about here, we could break up into subjects, right, and talk about it, like the psychology behind the perception of speed. Like say, like when you're in a kart versus when we're doing sim, even though we're sitting still, right? There's something to be said about that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
What up, Code 6? I appreciate you joining me, man.
Yo.
You know, that's
shout out to everybody coming through.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I'm very interested in the psychology part of it. Like what sim does to your brain, how it helps you out in the world. I feel like if I sim race more, I would see the benefits of it in the world. I mean, in my world. Because they always say the more you meditate, the more your brain acclimates to the world and the world becomes what your brain sees.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, no, you start becoming more of what it is that you're thinking about, right?
You're thinking about
and the action that you take is actually the mechanism to become that. So like let's just say, man, I've always been thinking about racing, right? And then you get a sim rig and you start doing it, right? And then you become obsessed with it. Okay, that's what you're talking about, right? Now it's a thought preceded by an action, and it becomes repetitive. And then you might say, okay, well, I want to experience this in another setting. You might go, we go out to the kart track, right? You might do a rental day. If for anything, yeah. Rental carts don't go super fast, but what they do is they give you the ability to literally like negotiate at full speed and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then you say, okay, rental carts is cool. I want to try a racing 4-stroke cart, next level up, right? Then we go 2-stroke. Then we go shifter cart. Then we go full, right? It crescendos up, right? But like I said, there's a with sim is the ability to kind of start from home. And I think that's what we're really trying to nail in for those of you guys that are listening. Dude, sim racing is super submersive.
Yeah, it's very submersive.
I baptized. Wait a minute, you even put this in the chat. We're supposed to talk about the difference between iRacing and ACC.
I did.
I don't know. I think it's in the chat. I'm sorry, not in the chat. The title.
You know what that is because I copied and pasted that particular whole description from one of my old videos, and that was
shit.
So we're not doing that today.
Okay.
So but to answer Code 6 question in the chat, yeah, I'm trying to do this, man. I'm trying to start a podcast where we just talk about random, car stuff. It just gives me more content.
Yeah, man.
On there, I can just
Yep.
drive more, drive more people to the channel. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
But I mean, to go off of what you're saying, just in general, it's just it puts you there. And sim racing, for instance, right? My life at one point was going down one road, but then when I picked up photography, it introduced me to so many other people on a different road. You know what I mean? So I started meeting people that people would perceive as weird. Oh, because he wears his hair like that, or he talks like that. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like with sim racing. Once you go down this road of being immersed or being submerged in racing, online, you never know who you will meet, and you never know where your life will go.
Right.
If you decide to take it serious. And I know that for a fact that's usually the case, for me when it comes to certain things.
Well, bro, I mean, it's just like, I was telling you, like with all the micro. Well, okay. Do people know kind of what we're going to be doing going forward with the content on the channel? With
No,
all right,
no.
I won't say anything, right?
Well,
but
go ahead.
Isn't that a perfect example of where this stuff can go?
Yeah.
Right. That's why I don't want to mention anything. Right. I'm gonna.
Yeah. Well,
like let you that.
The thing about it is, for me, I like to mention things in spurts because I learn the more I like talk about my plans, the less traction that they get.
No, that's what I'm saying. I won't say anything, right? Yeah. But what I just in terms of me to you though, in reference to what you were saying, there's you see on the back end how this stuff kind of works, right?
Right.
And the guys that really do have the resources to be able to kind of pursue this have to have, like, say, marketing partners, business partners, stuff like that, right? What they call the business of racing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to mention other stuff, dude. This is your channel. You mention it. I just want to make sure I'm I don't. Yeah, I'll let you do that. You do that.
Yo, but Cole, if you know a good guy that'd be a good guest, please introduce me to him. I would like, because that's what I want to do. I want to get people on. You understand what I'm saying? And that would be cool. Ulysses dropped off. Yeah, the Formula One official podcast is pretty cool. I like the way they speak. But one thing though, I like. The thing about it is we're speaking from an American point of view, and I don't really see too many American points of views when it comes to it. So you back?
Sorry, dude. That was my that was my dumbass.
That ain't good. But yeah, man. But when it comes to what we want to do on this channel, I'm gonna do my sim racing stuff. I'm gonna do my reaction videos, but I also want to do a podcast, whether it be strictly on Sundays on certain days, but that's just going to be the main focus of this channel. I don't really do too much karting anymore. I am doing karting, but I'm kind of like moving towards something else, to be honest with you. But yes, I don't really record a lot of karting videos anymore. But yeah, we're just going to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, man, I really don't care. Yeah, if he's a NASCAR guy, that's cool with me. You know what I'm saying? Like racing.
Yeah, we could talk NASCAR too, man.
The thing is, like, for me, I'm not really interested in NASCAR, but I'm interested in knowledge and I'm interested in new things. So if he might put me on something in NASCAR, I never know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I appreciate it.
No, I mean, dude, that's something well, I guess with the new spec NASCAR, I really have been kind of checking it out a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Right? Because they're using center lock hubs, they're using fuel injection motors, they're using a lot of modern tech, right? So I noticed these cars perform a bit different than traditional NASCARs, and that's what has me interested in them.
Yeah.
I don't know if did you hear about bro? This actually kind of broke the internet last week. Talk about NASCAR going electric. You hear about this?
That's not gonna go well. And you know what I'm talking about. That's definitely not gonna go over well.
It didn't go over. Let's just say it didn't go over well when the story broke. Let's just say that.
Let's put it this way: they had a fit when Toyota came in.
Dude, yes, they did. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, not only did they have a fit when Toyota came in, they also had a fit where they put Juan Pablo Montoya in the
Oh
seat.
yeah. Let's not
Okay,
forget.
never mind. Never mind. You got it.
Let's not forget it. They had a fit when Danica Patrick was crashing everywhere too.
Okay, well, I would have had a fit about that one. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Like,
Yo, that's one thing when it comes to NASCAR. You gotta watch what you do with them, man. You gotta make sure it fits the bill. Honestly, I don't. I'm not even a NASCAR guy, but I don't agree with that. I don't think they should go electric because that takes away. What
hell no,
NASCAR is
dude.
great
Come
about.
on, man.
I'm just being honest.
Listen, dude, they waited too long. They waited too long to build the car that they're running right now.
Yeah,
They should have been running this car 10 years ago. Dude, they should have been, honestly, let me tell you something, dude. They should have been running some sort of car,
yeah,
some sort of GT3 variant car that largely is set up for oval. That can then literally be set up for road. And then guess what you got? You got GT3 racing on a road course. Okay. That's okay. Take an Australian V8, Australian supercar.
hmm
That's really what NASCAR should be. And I shouldn't have used GT3 as an example. Australian supercar is the example because
yeah,
literally the engine formula, the transmission formula, everything is the same. The
mhm,
difference is that those cars are put in the chassis, dude, that can kill Mount Panorama.
yeah.
Put a NASCAR on Mount Panorama, see what happens. It's gonna go off the mountain.
All I know, listen. The thing about it is, if NASCAR already has a low attendance rate as right now as we speak. If they go electric, they're gonna die.
It's boring as shit, bro. Like I'm saying, dude,
They're gonna die.
dude, NASCAR should have. Why isn't NASCAR running at Circuit of the Americas?
Um, I don't know. Good question. Because they run in Road America. I know that.
So I'm saying, you want to know why? You want to know why it's dying? Because no one likes it. Okay, you know what? You know what? One thing that they're doing that I do like, the dirt oval races.
But that's not NASCAR. Which one is that?
No, NASCAR is literally running on dirt ovals this year. I think they did it last year and they're doing it this year. And actually, I think it's dope. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I haven't seen that. That's the thing about it. With NASCAR, it confuses me. It's a schedule. 1 minute they're running ovals, Talladega. The next minute they're running in Road America or Road Atlanta. Like I don't know.
Right.
Are these the
Right.
same? Are these the same? Like is Tony Stewart? I know he's not even racing anymore. But is Tony? I know
No.
he's racing with Indy. But is Tony Stewart?
No, he's
racing?
doing that. He's doing that SRX series. That's
Yeah.
which is all ovals. Yeah,
But
yeah.
here's the thing, though: is he racing at Talladega, but then he's also racing at Road America? Like, or they just switching out? You know what I mean? That's what I get confused about when it comes to.
Well,
NASCAR.
they go to the different venues, right? And
Yeah.
that's kind of like the problem with NASCAR, right? Because what the problem is that they run a lot of oval races,
hmm
okay? And then what they'll do is they'll mix in maybe like 3 road courses for the season, right?
Yeah.
Now, your guys like us who are into like Formula One, WRC, GT3, Le Mans prototype racing. We're not okay, dude. We're not fooled by the 3 little kind of gimme races that NASCAR gives you on the road course. We're not fooled by that,
Yeah.
right? So we know that what we're looking at is big sluggish race cars, basically, all on the circuit. Now, with the new cars, like I said, they're using symmetric wheels, right? So the wheels are the same size across, on all 4 hubs. The cars are symmetric, so they're not bulging to one side. Okay, fuel injection, center lock hubs, sequential tranny, right? They're kind of like a IMSA Camaro race car type of car,
hmm
right? And it kind of actually harkens back to the old school NASCARs, where really there wasn't that much setup difference, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They didn't set up the car. See, the cars weren't offset on one side because you ran ovals so much. But that became the thing in the kind of sort of modern era of NASCARs. That became the thing. They started offsetting the right rear side and the right side of the car because you were doing ovals mostly, right? And then they would have this car that was set up for a road course, and then guess what they would do? They go hire like a Boris Said or somebody like that to go run the race because he's a road course driver.
Yeah.
You get what I
Nah,
mean?
nah, I
Yeah.
feel
So
you.
yeah, NASCAR was doing that kind of shit, but see, now the cars that they have, I think they're a little more versatile. I think they need to run more road courses, if you want my honest opinion.
They do, but so they did run a Coda already. They did run a Coda already.
They run a Coda? Okay.
Apparently, I know Code 6 says the IndyCar is going hybrid. It's only a matter of time before NASCAR does too. That's a known fact. Everybody's going hybrid. It's like I said earlier in the podcast. I just hope that just because everybody's going hybrid, that it puts combustible motors on a time scale to fail or to just die. I feel like we need to have hybrid or EV, and we need to have combustible motors over here. I don't want us to do away with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, horse racing is still here, regardless of the fact that we're running cars now, and that needs to
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just what I think. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what up, Fitness by Nori? I love to see NASCAR racing, but never thought about or heard of Sims racing. So sim racing is racing like this right here. It's a rig, and what we do is we race online. We race competitively online against anybody and everybody all over the world. It's a great way to train your mind to be more focused on what you're doing. It's a great way to meditate, because meditation is really just understanding the focus of life in your life. This is a great thing to do.
Yeah.
Darius, I know Darius talked about Danny Kvyat debuted in NASCAR today. I did see that. I saw that on my Facebook not too long ago. Posted up. Yo, can you see this right here?
Yep.
The page I'm on?
Yep.
All right, yeah. This is the one. This was a picture that I saw of him in this Toyota, the Camry.
Oh wow.
Looks like a truck.
That's Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel, what's his name? How do you say his last name?
Kvyat.
Okay. Wow, he's gonna be running NASCAR.
Wasn't he racing with Williams too?
Yeah, he's a Williams. So that I think it was like 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, he's racing with Williams, right? Yeah. But yeah, he's racing with them right now. So yeah, man.
Interesting.
But I mean, should NASCAR go electric? That's a crazy question, man. Of course,
you know what? I think NASCAR should just have a push to pass. That's about it.
Listen, the thing about it is NASCAR, they lost a lot of people when they did that whole restrictor plate racing thing. When they started putting the restrictor plates on the carburetor, they lost a lot.
Yeah. What they were trying to do was prevent those super speedway wrecks.
Yeah.
Right. Like just throwing a restrictor plate. That I don't think okay. Restrictor plate, I don't have a problem with. You know what I have a problem with?
Yeah.
This is actually where they lost people. Okay. If you go back and you watch, let's say over like maybe the last 7, 8, 9 years of NASCAR, dude, they would throw these things called mid-race cautions. Okay. And what that was basically the race was starting to get away from everybody else, so they would throw a caution flag to group the race back up.
Yeah.
Only for the top teams to get away again, right? Because obviously, right, your high dollar teams are gonna have the high dollar equipment, and they're gonna basically kick. They got the high dollar drivers, and they're gonna kick the high dollar ass out of everybody, right? Mm-hmm. And so NASCAR would throw these things called mid-race cautions, or they call them field cautions or whatever, right? Debris on the track. There ain't no goddamn debris on the track. You guys are bunching up the field to make the racing more interesting. Right. So I think where a lot of people got lost with NASCAR, it started there. Then what they tried to do was come up with like a playoff type of thing. Right. They tried to come up with a post-race playoff type of thing, right? Where you know, it was like the top 10 drivers. Now they're in the chase, they call it.
Yeah.
Right? They had that. People didn't, they weren't into that shit.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they weren't into that shit. And then they tried like two other things, bro. I can't even tell you what those two other things are at this point. I don't know. I remember the last time I remember it was a chase, and I was like, so wait a minute. You guys made a playoff for motorsports? Dude, that is so fucking lame.
No, it's very lame. I mean, people didn't like the playoff situation in college football as well. So what make you think they're
Dude, that's what I mean. You get a motorsport, dude. It's like, look, first place is first place, and points are points. And at the end of the season, he who has the most points wins the championship, right? Yeah. There's no such thing as a fucking playoff in motorsport. So when NASCAR dared tried that, bro, it turned a lot of people off at that time too. I was
listen,
yo, like that's weird.
Yo, listen, most people don't like change just in general. And you know who else really doesn't like change? The people that are in the Bible Belt. So with that being said, So with that being said, NASCAR gotta watch out when they be making all them changes. You know what I'm saying? Yo,
bro, I'm not even in the Bible Belt. I wasn't feeling that.
It's the truth, man. I mean, people in the South.
No, I'm not even disagreeing with you. I'm saying I'm not even in the Bible Belt. I wasn't feeling it.
Listen. I watched this documentary the other day. This is off topic, but I watched this documentary on Coca-Cola, and I'm gonna make this real short. So Coca-Cola in the 80s went from Coca-Cola Classic to Coke, and it just said
yeah.
But they said new formula. Did you know who had the most problems with that change? People in the South. People in the South were picketing. They were boycotting work. They were just damn near committing suicide. No, people were committing suicide and stuff because they didn't like the Coke formula. They hated it. But you know what's so funny? They did a taste test and most people couldn't tell the difference between.
They couldn't tell the difference, dude. It was the damn packaging.
Here's the thing: they got so much backlash that they actually made a whole public statement. The new CEO, because a new CEO went into Coca-Cola and made this decision, this executive decision. But fast forwarding, he went on there and he said, "Hey, we're going to go back to our old formula. We're sorry that we made you guys mad, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go back to our old formula." Do you know that all they really did was just change the packaging of the can?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was just packaging.
And people ceased to stop complaining about it. But you know who was the main culprits of that? People in the South. And I'm talking about myself because I'm from the South too.
Yeah.
People from the South. But honestly, though, it was a particular type, set of people that was tripping.
But I'm saying it was just packaging that at the end of the day,
that was it.
It had to do with what the brand that they identified with.
So with that being said, people don't like change. Hell, it's the truth.
True.
So I mean, Code 6 says, I think that majority of racing is eventually going to be electric, even F1. They're already transitioning. There is already a transition happening in the everyday car. It's very true. In the next 10 years, we won't be driving gasoline or petrol cars much longer. So I got to find my Toyota Supra before the price goes
right up. Dude, 2030 in California, they already stipulated, bro, all electric. Yeah. So we're leading the way in North America on that.
Yeah, but it's like Dr. Claude Anderson said, you better get behind. Yeah, you better get behind that tractor as opposed to get in front of that tractor.
Well, dude, this is why like I said, without saying too much, right? Because there are some things you guys are going to see on this channel that pertain to, say, like EV, that whole sort of segment, and maybe on the micro scale and all that kind of stuff. So without saying too much, right? But that's what we want to be, at the fore of this, right? So we want to talk about all things motorsport, the industry itself, transportation, right? Because Audi, Ferrari, Ford, Aston, Mercedes, all these guys, these are also consumer vehicle producers, right? But they use the stuff that we're talking about, the Formula One cars and the WRC cars, and
they use these things as test beds as technology for their production vehicles, right? So there's a bit of synergy between what we talk about in the motorsport venue and then how it trickles down into the cars that we see that are in production. Dude, case in point, the cars that Alan, Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost, the MP1s, the McLaren MP1s, the Honda McLaren Formula One cars. Okay, VTEC came from those cars. Now, VTEC ultimately became like a street meme during the 90s, right? In terms of Honda builds and shit like that. Single cam VTEC, dual cam 1.6, 1.8s, right? Type R's, right? Frankensteins. Dude, we can get all into that shit, right? But that's tech that came from Formula One, bro.
You know what else came from Formula One as well? People don't talk about.
What's up?
Paddle shifters.
Yep, paddle shift. Yeah. The what they call DSG boxes, all that paddle shift.
BMW,
right? Yeah, like all this stuff, man. It's tech that came from motorsport, makes its way into production vehicles, and I got to tell you, what's on your sim rig? Paddle shift. So it funneled its way all the way down into sim, right? So this is something for us to explore, dude, like deeply, man. Absolutely.
Oh, we will. Yeah, man, but we're coming up to 2 hours, man. We're going
for sure, man. Dude, this is dope for the first one, bro. I love it.
Show, man. I like this, though. I really appreciate it, man. We had a lot of people join, pop in and pop out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make a comment.
Yeah, my bad, dude. I'm over here on some stupid tech shit.
hey, man, we got.
No, dude, I'm serious, bro. I was cooking when we started, and then my phone went dead. I got on the other phone, and then that thing overheated, and then I got back on this one. So it's cool. We'll sort it out. Like, I'll get my shit sorted out for the next one.
Nah, man. This is my first time doing this. Like, so I'm figuring this out, but I'm definitely gonna learn more about this, and I'm gonna take advantage.
Yeah, dude. Hey, man, this was dope. The sound was cool.
Yeah.
Dude, bro. Yeah, dope stuff. Dope stuff.
But all I gotta say is, you know what I'm saying? I understand that I'm shining now. But you wasn't there with me in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started from the bottom when it came to karting in this. I'm just playing. But yeah. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate everybody, joining in tonight. Make sure you guys go to
first of all, hit the like button, sub to the channel, right?
Yeah.
This is gonna be a regular thing. Share this for cats that you guys think that are feeling this type of convo, and we would invite you guys for the next ones following up to join us. Right, so we're really just trying to push this movement, man.
Yeah, for real. And then also, if you want to donate to the stream, it's right there on the ticker on the bottom. You can go to my Streamlabs.
Yeah, and then also please do that. Look, we got some projects in the works. Like I said, I was really trying not to say stuff, but I need y'all to support this channel. I'm working with Keita Auto. We're gonna be doing some really dope shit, right? So I need y'all to support the channel, sub, share it. If you feel compelled to, please donate, right? We're gonna bring some dope shit to y'all.
Yeah, for real. You already know me. You already know me from streaming every day. Yeah, but hey, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna talk to you
on
the flip side, Ulysses, you know what I'm saying? And then y'all have a good evening.
All right, peace.
All right, y'all.